What up, chicken tendies? It's David Vaughn, that guy you know from the internet who is obsessed with Disneyland, and it is June 2025, which means I got fresh tips for visiting this month. Everything that you need to know to have the best day ever, including what's gonna be closed, what are the times for some of the nighttime shows, like when is Fantasmic playing, when is it not, when the parade's playing, when are they not. We also have new character experiences that I don't think we've talked about here quite just yet that you gotta hear about. Of course, Lightning Lane tips and the best days to visit. Can I predict them? And I'm gonna try something new with it, where I compare. You know what? I'm gonna wait and tell you because there's a whole segment on that. But we got to prepare you for your trip. So let's first talk about the attractions that are gonna be closed this month. So unfortunately, Matterhorn bobsleds are still gonna be closed. I know. It's such a bummer. I don't think I predicted this. That ride seems to close every single year for refurbishment. She's old. She's an old coaster. Are we ready to let her go yet? Is this blasphemy? Should I be talking about this in a public forum? All right, well, we'll see. You let me know. Enchanted Tiki Room, speaking of an old attraction, she's also under refurb, but that's okay because she doesn't go under refurb that often. And all month long, we don't have a reopening date just yet. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. We know that ride's closed, or that attraction, that show is closed until July 17th when it'll reopen with the Walt Disney animatronic. Chippendale Gadget Coaster is also closed, but reopens June 13th. And Star Tours, can you believe it? Star Tours never closes for refurbishment. I can't even think of the last time this happened, but Star Tours is gonna close June 30th. So pretty much open all month, and I don't think I have a reopening date for that just yet. I don't know if it's gonna be extended closure or what have you. I haven't really poked around on that one, but only one day in June, but it'll begin the start of its closure. So kind of interesting. That ride never closes for refurbishment. Cool news is, though, that's it. There's nothing closed at Disney California Adventure. And of course, all of these are subject to change. There could be something that pops up in a week or two if they need to refurbish something and they figure out this is the right time for it. But yeah, that's not a lot. And that's kind of the benefit of going this time of year. Yeah, because a lot of the attractions are open. So if you love the Matterhorn, you might want to wait off. Are we keeping the Matterhorn? I really love the Matterhorn. I do. Even though I gotta sparingly ride it. But are we ever gonna be ready to let that ride go? Or should they just completely redo it? There's not a lot of space there. I think that's another thing people don't realize. People are like, smooth out the track. You guys, that's how the track is supposed to be. Walt rode that rickety, rackety track back in the 1950s and 60s. So yeah, that's how she be. Next up, early park closures. So these are those dates that you go and you go, wait a second, I had no idea that Disneyland was gonna be closed soon. I have a reservation. Well, now I'm telling you, so you don't do that. But Disney California Adventure will be open. Anyway, listen, we gotta talk about it. Context, y'all. Grad Night. Let's talk about that first. So Grad Night doesn't close the park super early. It just closes Disney California Adventure early at 9 p.m. Here are the dates: June 1st, June 4th, June 6th, June 8th, June 11th, and June 13th. But, and this is a big but, the Grad Night kids, people, they can purchase tickets to Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure. So they can park hop. So even though Grad Night takes place after the park closes at Disney California Adventure, they can go to both parks before that, and you will often see a lot more 17, 18-year-olds in the park at that time. Pride Night is another one, and I don't want to hear anybody's negative Pride Night comments. Ugh. Pride Night takes place June 16th and June 18th, and tickets are $169. And they are still available. You can still buy tickets to Pride Night this year. I think this event is super fun, but it does close the park early at 8 p.m. So if you don't have a Pride Night ticket, you have to leave at 8 p.m. So heads up, Disney California Adventure is usually open till 10 p.m. on those nights. So you can hop over there if you have a park hopper ticket or a Magic Key. But yeah, Pride Night offers a lot of different things. There's special fireworks just for the night that are usually really cool. There's a cavalcade. And if you haven't seen Clarabelle Vogue down Main Street, you're kind of missing out. There's a whole part of your life that you'll never fully be able to feel the spirit of Clarabelle Cow voguing down Main Street. And it sounds like I'm joking, but it is actually kind of like one of those spiritual moments for a Disney theme park fan. I don't know. It's fantastic. I'm not able to go to Pride Night this year, so That's coming. I'll explain all of that later. I just haven't rolled out that thing yet. I have a cool thing that's coming that I will be gone that week. But yeah, I want you all to go if you want to celebrate this, because this has got to be like an annual thing. Like, I love this event. It is super fun, and I have friends I want to take, but this year won't be in town. So it's like the first Disneyland After Dark event I missed in years. Hopefully they don't add super cool things so I don't feel like total FOMO. This is so awesome. I love Pride Night. Here's some Pride Night B-roll. So, speaking of special characters, did you know that there are new special characters you can meet at both parks that have popped up and are limited time only? So first, everybody has Stitch fever, it seems, these days. And Stitch is back in Tomorrowland for Stitch's Interplanetary Beach Party Blast. I feel like they did not do this last year, but they've done it other years before. It's on the Tomorrowland, that little Tomorrowland stage right outside of Galactic Grill. So parents, this is the tip at the end of the night, because this takes place from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. You take your little ones when you're like ready to go home and they're like, we want more Disneyland. And you just put them here. Well, first you all go get a snack together, and then you let them go in this little area and dance with Stitch, and you just like eat your snack from the back and watch your kids like have the best time ever with Stitch. And they dance, and there's like a DJ, and there's other characters, and Stitch is out there like, yeah, and they can take selfies with them. So it's super cool. It's super fun. I'm glad they brought it back this year. I was kind of surprised. I'm 90% sure it was not back last year, but I'm glad to see it back with the movie. It makes a lot of sense. So I don't know what other characters will roll out all the time, but typically it's really, really fun, and Stitch knows how to boogie. So you're going to get the whole Stitch experience with this one. And that's going to be every single night except for Pride Night. So the 16th and the 18th, it will not play. So just heads up about that. But there's more Stitch stuff too. There is a new Stitch parfait and bucket also available at Galactic Grill. So you can get these. I haven't tried the parfait yet. It is on my list of things to do. Just been a little bit behind schedule after the Disneyland 70th and flying over to Florida and coming back and making sure that I get all my content out for you guys. And then I can go back to Disneyland and have a great time. But I haven't been since I've gotten back from Florida. So I want to make sure I get everything done. Although every moment of the day I think about going to Disneyland. So we'll just wait off. And then there's the magic shot with Stitch too. So you can ask the photographers, hey, can I do a magic shot with Stitch if you have Disney PhotoPass? And when they take your picture, they usually add in a little Stitch magic for you. I'm not sure if it's going to be at certain locations. I was trying to find some of the information, but it's a little bit tricky to do so. So not every photographer may have that magic shot, but they may be able to tell you the one to go to. So if you get Lightning Lane Multipass, you get Disney photographers pictures with that. And then you can say, hey, when they take your picture in front of the castle or in Tomorrowland, can we add Stitch to it? We heard there's a Stitch magic shot. And they, like I said, they should be able to do it for you. Okay, so hopping over to Disney California Adventure, there's one character I'm super ridiculously excited for, like insanely excited for, but I'm going to tell you that next. Phineas and Ferb. So this is, okay, I am really excited for Phineas and Ferb, but I already saw them. So the other character is coming after this. Hold on. I know I'm getting ahead of myself. So Phineas and Ferb, we're going to be at Disney California Adventure in Hollywoodland on select dates. This is what's hard, is these select dates seem to be a little bit all over the place. You're going to get Phineas and Ferb on some select dates, and then you're going to get Perry on one select date. And I think Perry is only Saturdays for now. But then I've also heard that he might only be on Fridays. So I don't know who you're going to get. It's going to be a mixed bag. Hopefully if you go on the weekends, you'll see these characters, and then you're not going on the weekends, then I would just check there and see if they're popping up. But it seems like they're not there every single day. And this is all to debut with the new Phineas and Ferb season, which comes out June 5th. So exciting stuff. I'm glad these characters are back. I think they should stick around for a bit. I'd love to see them all summer long. And I don't know if they'll be around all of June, but my guess is that they will be. They launched May 16th, and I think typically characters sign on for a couple months. So my guess is we'll see them at least through July, but we'll see how this all gets rolled out. Okay, so now for my most excited character is Rex. Rex is going to finally be a greetable character in Pixar Pier. Now, the unfortunate thing is, and I gotta double check this, is he limited time? Yeah, he's limited time. Why is he limited time? This should be a permanent thing. I'm one of those people, I just think that we need to keep refreshing the characters in there. And I understand sometimes people come in and they're like, oh, I wanted to see Joy. But it's like, well, Joy has been in Pixar Pier for like since the beginning. So maybe it was time for like Rex. I don't know. You know, I saw Alberto and Luca in there, right? So I've seen other characters get added to Pixar Pier, and I think they're still there. I saw them by the Ferris wheel, so keep an eye out. Might not just be Rex. There might be other fun characters to meet, but starting June 1st for a limited time. What does a limited time mean? Till when? It just says a limited time. Why are we doing this in Pixar Pier on June 1st? I don't know. Maybe it's to celebrate. Actually, Toy Story came out. Yeah, it's for the 30th anniversary of Toy Story. That's why. So exciting. I love to see it. I cannot wait to meet Rex. I don't know if we're going to be able to hug him. I don't know why I want to hug Rex, because I'm just like, oh, okay, let's just like see what it's like to hug. Just, I don't know. This is weird. I think this is getting weird. It was unintentionally getting weird. But yeah, you can hug. Maybe you'll be able to hug Rex. We'll see. We'll know by June 1st. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the nighttime entertainment. Then we're going to talk about the best dates to visit. So we've got things to talk about. So Wondrous Journeys, Fantasmic, Paint the Night, World of Color Happiness, so many nighttime shows. Let's talk about Disneyland Park and the Disney California Adventure. So Fantasmic will play at 9:05 and 10:30 p.m. almost every single day. Like pretty much you can see this show every single night at these times. It does not play though on June 16th or 18th. So Pride Night, no Fantasmic. Wondrous Journeys with fireworks nightly at 9:30 p.m. Not with fireworks. And you can still see the fireworks from, now this is a really cool tip. There's another show called Tapestry of Happiness, which is so cool, and it projects on the Small World building. So that might be something that you would want to check out. So you'll see it project on, I'm showing it right now, but you can see it project on It's a Small World. It's only like a couple minute show, and it does play multiple times throughout the night. I love it. But you can also watch from Rivers of America. So if you watch Fantasmic, you can sit there, you can watch the show, and then afterward, they'll do some projections on the fountains, and then you'll see the fireworks off onto your right. And then also in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you can still see the version of it called Fire of the Rising Moons, which is basically, it's just like they play Star Wars music instead. So you're not seeing the Wondrous Journey show. You're seeing the same fireworks at 9:30, but they put different music to it to make it feel more Star Warsy. We've talked about this before. You're probably super familiar with this, but just know it's still going on. And the Star Wars Skywalker saga projections will still also happen. And times will vary for that. It usually plays a couple times throughout the night. That might be another reason to show up by the Millennium Falcon about an hour early, get a good spot, and then watch those projections typically. And then you can also see the fireworks shortly after. So you can make a whole night of it. Or come back later in the night and see the later projection show if you really want to see that, because you want to watch it in front of the castle. So check the times on the day of your visit, because they do vary. It's a little harder to find the Skywalker projection show times. And then Paint the Night Parade is at 8:45 p.m. and 10:45 p.m. So here's a really cool tip. If you really want a good spot, you could go by It's a Small World. There's those steps. It's called the It's a Small World Promenade. You can wait there. You line up. You get there by 7 p.m. You're going to see the Paint the Night Parade at 8:45 p.m. Then you're going to see the fireworks at 9:30 p.m. And then you're going to wait around, because at 10 p.m. they're going to do Tapestry of Happiness, which is the projection show on It's a Small World. So you're going to see everything happen. And they do the projections on Small World for the fireworks too. So you get to see all kinds of really cool stuff all at once. And like I said, the times could vary for this, but right now it looks like that's kind of how they're doing it all. When I saw it, Tapestry of Happiness played before Paint the Night Parade. So I don't know if they're going to add more times in, but they should. Okay, so over at Disney California Adventure, World of Color Happiness, which was so fun. It's like just like a more fun, lively version of World of Color with different characters, different music, all that stuff. That plays at 9 p.m. almost every single night. And then starting June 15th, they add another time at 10:15 p.m. So you'll be able to see it 9 p.m. and 10:15 p.m. However, there are other dates sprinkled in there where it plays at 9 p.m. and 10:15 p.m. But every single night, it'll play at 9 p.m. Also remember, there's a virtual queue for World of Color 1 in the Disneyland app For the 9 p.m. time, I highly recommend it. It opens at noon. You just have to make sure that you have admission to Disney California Adventure and you've entered one of the parks to join the virtual queue. But that way you'll get a better spot, a better viewing spot. You can often cruise in and see if there's any available spots closer to the time. Usually on the far right side, if you're facing the Ferris wheel, is a better chance for you to get in there because that's typically where they keep the open spots. And at 10:15 p.m., you almost always can find spots. So just a heads up about that. Now let's talk about the best times to visit Disneyland during June 2025. So I'm going to start a new thing here. So my partner's an undercover tourist who I often partner with to get you guys discounted tickets, which I should post a discounted ticket link if you want to go to Disneyland this summer for multiple days. There's a multi-day ticket discounted offer for the 70th, and you get an even better deal with undercover tourists. And also, if you buy it through their link, by the way, I get some type of affiliate payment. So I get a little bit of money for that. So if you want to support this channel and you want to buy it through my link, that really does help me out. Just heads up about that. So I'll include that in the comments below. But Undercover Tourist has a great crowd calendar where they show you their predictions for how busy things are going to basically look. And they're not predicting extreme busyness for June. Their scale goes up to 10 and they're saying everything's going to be a 6 or a 7. So it's like moderate. I would say maybe moderate high, but not high, but just kind of in that, not a danger zone range, but just like hey, it's going to be a little bit elevated type range. Like we're not going to see days where it's completely empty type situation. Now they're saying that from June 2nd to June 12th, that you will be able to have the fewest crowds. The 7th is excluded, by the way, in that because it's a Saturday and they do predict that they'll be a little bit busier. But I think that's a good prediction. Earlier June, the better. But also June 16th and 18th, they also predict to be lower crowds. And then after that, it's going to be more on the higher end of moderate. So that's their prediction. Now, my prediction is different. There's a lot of overlap, but my prediction, the dates that are going to be the least busiest are going to be June 2nd, 4th, 6th, 11th, 16th and 18th. And I accounted in grad night and a few other factors, just knowing people are graduating from school, going after things like that. Like these are my predicted dates to be the best. Big caveat here, June 16th and 18th are Disneyland Pride Night. Because of Pride Night, the park will close at 8 p.m. and everybody will go to Disney California Adventure. So Disney California Adventure, I predict to be busier, especially in the evening during those days. But earlier in the day, you might have amazing low crowds where you can get on a lot more attractions. So yes, you'll be missing out on Paint the Night. Yes, you'll be missing out on Wondrous Journeys. And yes, you'll be missing out on Tapestry of Happiness, the Skyward Projection Show, all the nighttime stuff that's coming to Disneyland. But you could go to Disney California Adventure, watch World of Color Happiness. So it might be kind of a win-win, especially if you're going multiple days and you really want to get on a lot of rides at Disneyland. You can go see the nighttime stuff another day. So just kind of some ideas for you if you're looking for some ways to skip out on some of these crowds that could be predicted for June. June is a weird month. You're going to get some days where you're like, it's nice. It's nice. And then you're going to get other days where you're like, it is really busy. What is going on here? Who are these people? And don't they know that I'm supposed to be here today and not all of these people? That's how it kind of goes. Some days it feels like, oh, this is definitely a chill spring day. And other days it feels like summer is here. And she came like a hot mess. So I just say, here's the tip. Regardless of the day that you go, if you're going on a day that's predicted to be a little bit busier than another day, do not freak out. Literally understand a few things. One, just get there early. If you get there at park open, you're gonna have such a better time than everybody who's strolling in at like 10. You're gonna get on like all the major attractions you wanna see in the first couple of hours. And you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be like, I knocked those out. Now I can go do my other things. I can eat my snacks and walk around. Like that is peak Disneyland. So get there early, knock out the attractions you wanna see, and then it won't matter to you as much, or at least in my brain, that when you're walking around, maybe it's a little bit busier. It's not super upsetting to you to see the crowds that are there. So next, if you're getting Lightning Lane Multipass and, for some of these busy June dates, you might want to think about it, especially if you're planning on riding a bunch of attractions, the major attractions. If you're like, I'm going on Space Mountain, I'm going on Guardians, I'm going on Big Thunder, I'm not going on Matterhorn because it's closed. It's an added expense, true. but Lightning Lane Multipass can help you skip a lot of the bulk of the lines. And this is my prediction for the most in-demand rides. Well, it's not really a prediction. It's based on really cool data that I've aggregated over many, many years. But yeah, so Space Mountain. So basically, so just to illuminate this a little bit better, this is just telling you the attractions that you're going to want to experience in order. So these are the ones to knock out first with your Lightning Lane because these ones fill up the fastest. So Space Mountain, Indiana Jones Adventure, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and Haunted Mansion at Disneyland Park. Typically, I would have Matterhorn on here, but since it's closed all month, I took it out. If you're not going on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, you know, Haunted Mansion's kind of going to be a replacement for that one. Even if you see, oh, Soarin', I could get Soarin' right now. Go for Guardians. If you're going on Guardians, get Guardians because, and I'm telling you right now, that attraction fills up the fastest. And there's many reasons I could get into of why it does that. A lot of it has to do with just like the capacity of the attraction at the moment. But just know Guardians of the Galaxy fills up to the point where like you might start at Disneyland and park hop over to Disney California Adventure at 2 p.m. and there are no more slots for Guardians. So if you're getting Lightning Lane and you know that you're going to be park hopping to Disney California Adventure at some point, you might want to knock out as many attractions as you can early and then prioritize going over to Guardians, going over to Disney California Adventure by booking a Guardians Lightning Lane when you're in Disneyland. Now, I have a whole tips video about how to maximize your Lightning Lane Multipass, the tips, everything. I get really into the details of what you should know about that. So I highly recommend checking out that video. I should probably link to it somewhere. Maybe, should it be my suggested video? I don't know. We have the Disneyland 70th. I'll have to link to it in the description below because that's going to be the best spot for it. Maybe it'll suggest it to you too, but I couldn't recommend watching that more if you are either not super familiar with Lightning Lane Multipass, or maybe you are, and maybe there's some tips that you're just like, oh, I had no idea I could do that. Because I really get into what everybody should know before they go, the best practices and things like that. But these are the attractions that I highly recommend prioritizing. And again, it just means these are the rides that you need to book in order because, and I really mean like Space Mountain has more demand than Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But of course, if it's a hot day and it's 12 p.m., you're going to see a lot of folks wanting to ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure at that time. So things kind of ebb and flow a little bit throughout the day, but definitely get on those if you can. If you have any questions about visiting Disneyland in June 2025, leave them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer. I appreciate you watching this video. If you want to see more Disneyland tips, updates, and really stay in the loop, think about subscribing to my channel. This is a fun community. We just talk about Disneyland and other theme parks that I love, that you love, that we love. I have also a lot more videos you can check out. So definitely do that, especially if you're going for the Disneyland 70th anniversary this summer. I go into everything, 23 awesome things you can do, and I will link to that here. So check it out, and I'll see you next time.